Hello, hello, everyone. Good evening, good night, wherever you guys are. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to another weekly edition of the DJ Cre Pop Up Show. Got your girl Jess here in the house, back in the house. I hope y'all didn't miss me too much last week. Of course, we've got DJ Cre here in the mix. He's going to be bringing you all your favorite freestyle, anarchy, break beats. What do you guys want to hear tonight? Make sure you guys drop it in the chat and let us know, because it is going to be a good Tuesday night. Y'all already know. Make sure you guys share the stream. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, DJ Cre 1200 or Mario DJ Cre Esquivel. Choose your platform and make sure you guys share, because sharing is caring. But before we get started, I want to get on here and I want to give a big thank you to our crew, our listeners. Y'all know who y'all are. I want to thank you guys for all the prayers last week while Jessi was down. But hey, we're back and we're ready to bring it back bigger and stronger with all the freestyle jams. Y'all know how DJ Cre does it. Make sure you guys show him some love. And let's get this party rolling on a Tuesday, because I'm ready. Big shout out to DJ Screamers, Mark, all the way in El Paso, Ramon in Funky Town, and Mr. Freestyle representing all the way in Cali. Guys, y'all are the true MVPs. We're getting started. Let's go.
What Jessi said, let's do it.
Two, 3 days. Turn up! Coming at you with another pop-up show. It's DJ Cre and your host Jessi. Turn it up.
Yo, DJ Cre in the hole.
Shout out to the 830 Texas Rob in the house. What is up, Rob? everyone doing on this Tuesday night? Let's drop all those positive vibes in the chat, because it's mindless freestyle music. What better therapy can we afford?
don't know, Screamers. If I don't get Jessi dancing, I don't feel like I did my job.
Freestyle music. Y'all know it's DJ Cre Pop Up Show time. Make sure you guys are turning it up and sharing the stream. Boy Roach in the house. Cali representing. What is up, Roach? Long time no see. It's so good to see you on here. Y saludos a Puerto Rico, San Germán. Saludos a Jesús Torres escuchándonos. Sube el número, Jesús, y ponte a bailar porque DJ Cre está en la casa.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, I'm just kind of getting situated over here, but good to see everybody here.
Says Vicks fix it all. You're sure right about that. The almighty Mexican medicine.
Leaving me
So what song are you guys hoping that Cre plays today? Drop it in the chat. I see DJ Screamers wants to hear some Spanish flag. We got you. Y'all remember that music is cheaper than therapy. And turn it up because DJ Cre is on this Tuesday. Bringing all the fun to you guys.
I wake up and I wonder where you are. I thought you were right there beside me. No luck, just a vision in the dark. It fades in the morning light for me. Fantasies have never been this sweet. What you meant, I don't get to keep. I keep dreaming the same dream over and over. What does it mean more? I keep dreaming the same dream. The rest of my life is caught between the same dream. Oh, are you dreaming the same dream? Oh, same dream. I can't say the things I want to say. It's too soon to be making promotion. I'll wait until there comes a day when all of your doors swing open. It's harder to hide it when we meet. Some secrets are impossible to keep. I keep dreaming the same dream over and over. What does it mean more? I keep dreaming the same dream. The rest of my life is caught between the same dream. Oh, are you dreaming the same dream?
Y'all do me a big favor if you guys are tuning in on this Tuesday. Drop something in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. What's your favorite freestyle song? What are you feeling today? What made today an amazing day?
I've been waiting by the phone, hoping that you call me soon. I grown tired of your lies, I'm tired of the things you do. I got a life of my own, and I can't waste it on someone like you. So I'm gonna hit the town and find a man who will treat me good. I'm gonna let my hair down, gonna let the single light turn me around. Gotta forget I ever loved you, understood, don't wanna stay with you. I don't care for you, I don't care for you no more. I don't care for you, I don't care for you, I don't care for you no more.
There are things I can't explain. There's some things I just don't know. Like where the heavens, the stars, the blue skies part, and when the seasons go. But one thing that I know for sure is that I'm always gonna be in control. And if you give to me your love tonight, I'll give you my heart and soul. I can see the sun, I can see the moon, I can hear the wind, the clouds before the rain starts falling.
shout out to DJ Panic and that boy Spin Kid tuning in. Much love to you, gentlemen.
Days may come and nights may go, but the feeling will remain the same. Just when you feel your heart cry out, the tears will fall again. Imagine there's no sight, no sound, and then there's no feeling. I would still see your face and hear your voice, and your touch would be so real. I can see the sun in the night. I can see the moon in the night. I can hear the wind in the clouds before the rain starts falling. I can see the sun in the night. I can see the moon in the night. I can hear the wind in the clouds before the rain starts falling.
Sleep alone each night, wishing you were here, but you're far away, so far away. Yes, you know I love you, always thinking of you. Being without you is slowly killing
There's Jessi's request for the night.
to feel the way I do, and love me as I love you. Feel the way I do, and love me as I love you. Feel the way I do, girl. I want you. Feel the way I do, just feel the way I do. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. I'll bring it to you. It's right to you. I beg, I borrow, I steal. Anything to show you how I feel.
What's up, brother?
Live without
I'm
you.
yelling, I'm sorry.
Slowly go insane. I want you to feel the way I do, and love me as I love you. Feel the way I do, and love me as I love you. Feel the way I do, girl. I want you.
It's that boy Eder tuning in, representing Oak Cliff. That's my hood, 'cause that is my hood. And what is up to Miss Nina Han? Thank you for tuning in to the DJ Cre Pop Up Show. Time to party.
Never ends. I know this much is true. This love that we share is forever through and through. We can take this world together. We can take it by surprise. And when you look at me, you'll see that love is in my eyes. Love never ends. Can't you see it in my eyes? Love never ends. Girl, I'm telling you no lies. Love never ends. Can't you see it in my eyes? Love never ends. Girl, I'm telling you no lies.
¿Qué dijo Jesús en el chat? Que la música freestyle es la mejor. Ya sabes, Jesús. Y sabes que te lo traemos aquí al DJ Cre Pop Up Show. Nos da gusto a todos que nos están escuchando este martes, de donde quiera que estén escuchando, que sea de Puerto Rico, de México, de Sudamérica. Mucho amor a todos.
You got me going crazy. The way your body sways, you got me wanting.
just realized I was playing a lot of guy freestyle songs. Throw the ladies some love over here.
Don't you ever think I would mess around? You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about me. You're the only one that makes me feel this way. You touch something inside of me. You're the only one that takes my breath away. When it comes to my heart, you're the only one.
Look who made it to the Tuesday party. DJ Vibe. What is that vibe?
Give it to my love tonight. Surrender your love to me. I want you in my arms tonight. Surrender your love to me. Give it to my love tonight. Surrender your love
What's going on, Vibe?
to me. I want you in my arms tonight. Surrender your love to me.
Panic. What to do?
You used to look so fine. You knew that you were on my mind, but you wasted time, wasted time. And now I know you feel afraid because you thought you had it made, but now you feel like me. Can't you see? Give it to my love tonight. Surrender your love to me. I want you in my arms tonight. Surrender your love to me. Give it to my love tonight. Surrender your love to me. I want you in my arms tonight. Surrender your love to me.
Who's your zaddy? It's DJ Cre in the mix.
Y'all know what, guys? The world can be a little crazy sometimes. But remember, music brings us together. So let's turn it up.
To you, I see the way that she looks at me inside those lonely eyes. Where can it feel what she feels inside? The way she stares deep in my eyes. Don't tell me that you need someone who's real and make me realize the way she looks at me. Those lonely eyes, don't you work can it be inside? I feel so much for you. The way she looks at me, come home and fall so tight. Come stay with me tonight,
I don't know about y'all, but Tuesday nights just hit different when DJ Cre's playing.
Holding on to us. I gave my heart, but love disappeared. Now I know this much. Now I'm standing strong and I will survive. 'Cause I found what I'm searching for. A love that is mine and no longer yours. But the question on my mind, did you really love me like I really loved you? Now it's just too late for us. Second chance enough. So if you really want me like I know you want to, just give me all you got. I'll get this second chance enough.
I don't know about y'all, but that is a jam. I absolutely love it. Make sure you guys tap those likes, those hearts, if you guys are enjoying what you're listening, because y'all know DJ Cre is just bringing those jams. There's something you want to hear, drop it in the chat.
Coming at you with another pop-up show. It's DJ Cre and your host Jessi.
So many places I tried so hard to find a look so
agenda. Good music, good people, and a whole lot of memories with these songs, taking it down memory lane with DJ Cre.
Freestyle music.
Thank you, Screamers. Appreciate it.
Gotta give me all your
beautiful Maria, for tuning in on this Tuesday. Thank you for those stars, girlfriend. And big shout out to streamers as well. Much love to you guys.
Hello, Maria. Thank you very much for that.
You are what my heart beats for. Take my hand and don't let me go. Squeeze it tight and hold it close. I won't let you go. 'Cause my feelings said so much to me, girl. And all that was said was true. 'Cause when I do think of love, to me that word means you. Oh, don't let me go, girl. Don't let me go, girl. Stay my own forever, darling. I can't live without your love. As long as we can be together, I love you more and more. Don't let me go, girl. Can't live without your love. I was wrong for not believing in you. Foolish of me by not letting you know that I love you to the day I die. Believe me, I will try. Girl, I can never let you go. You mean so much to my heart. 'Cause without you it's so hard to live. So please don't let me go. 'Cause my feelings said so much to me, girl. And all that was said was true. 'Cause when I do think of love, to me that word means you. Oh, don't let me go, girl. Don't let me go, girl. Stay my own forever, darling. I can't live without your love. As long as we can be together, I love you more and more. Don't let me go, girl. Can't live without your love.
Let's hear it for all our freestyle lovers that never stop loving freestyle. I am definitely one of those. Cre is one of those. And if you're listening, I definitely know you're one of those. We appreciate you guys spending your night with us. Make sure you guys are sharing the stream, spreading the DJ Cre love.
I remember I
How about both, Screamers? How about both?
Enjoying the show, make sure you guys hit that share button. Invite your freestyle loving friends to the party because this is how we do it on a Tuesday night. Struggling without me last week.
4 o'clock, I still can't find you. Scared of what our love has come to. I wait by the phone and I feel so alone. I care for you. I think about the way you treat me. You care about your friends before me. Taken for granted and left empty-handed. I needed you. Wish you could see how much I did for you than me. And if I could, I would turn all the bad to good. Just give me a reason. If you love me, then show me you care. I'll be there. Give me.
I'm sweating this week.
Give me a reason.
The exhaustion is starting to take over.
If you love me, then show me you care. I'll be there.
Yo, DJ Cre in the hole.
Somewhere out there, somebody just heard their song, and this is why we're here. Saludos a Mr. Jesús Santana tuning in. Hola, Jesús. I know y'all love this one too. Tap those legs as hard. DJ Cre is just taking it back down memory lane. We're here for it. Regreso a la fiesta, Mr. Cali, aka Mr. Freestyle is back.
Give it all you got. 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 Give 4, 3, 2.
Bass.
Oh, Jessi hasn't been here, so she hasn't seen me hit the bird. So,
but you're gonna hit the bird tonight.
That's you too, Jess.
That one was to everyone who still knows the words to that song after all these years. Can never go wrong with some Diamond Girl. Where are all my Diamond ladies at? I know they're out there representing. Much love to every single one of you guys tuning in on this Tuesday. We appreciate all the love. And to Screamers, you got it out of him.
So
you got that right. Nothing but love here.
A lot of freestyle love. Y'all, this is the new Jaime track. Make sure you guys turn it up. Shout out to Jaime.
Yes, Jessi makes my life easier. It'd be tough to do by my own. Y'all show Jessi some love. You like this one, Jesus? It's dope, right? If you guys like time as you release, those likes, those hearts, sure, Texas freestyle artist, mucho amor. Gotta represent.
Who's your zaddy? It's DJ Cre in the mix.
Pass
You got that right, Jesus? Hey, Jessi, let's get Jaime back on. Work on that.
We're gonna make that happen. Jenny girl. We're not gonna call her Miss KC. Now we're gonna call her Miss ATX. She's almost home. How are you, Jenny? And what's up to Metal? Happy Tuesday, girlfriend. Look at that. Shy Town is in the house. What's up, Jeff?
No, Vito, this is just being super busy and no time for anything. So one day we'll get to it.
It looks good, Zaddy. It looks good.
But thank you for noticing.
What I told him. I like the silver on him. He needs to keep it. There's a reason they called him Fatty.
What's good, everybody? This is your girl, Stephanie Bennett, and giving you the hottest freestyle mega edit. It's your boy, and it's my boy, DJ Cre.
Just get high. Wasn't so long ago when we were two in love. Sometimes I see you in the distant lights, but then I wake, it's just a dream. Can I turn back time just 2 days when I was I go again. How hard I try to forget your love, but even away, it comes down to you. Bring me back those times, it's still on my mind. How can I live life without you? Bring me back those days when things were alright. Oh, how I do wish it would come true. Bring me back those times, it's still on my mind. How can I live life without you? Bring me back those days when things were alright. Oh, how I do wish it would come true. Bring me back, 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 back. Hear the drummer get wicked, 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 wicked,
I've been living a life holding on to the way I feel for you. And now this is the time I need to tell you how much I miss you. Oh, I waited so long to tell you how I feel. And we, together we can be in love forevermore.
You want to see Jessi do the bird again?
Only if you do it with me. Only if you do it with me. Shout out to everybody that's watching the World Cup. Who are you rooting for? I say Mexico and USA, but I love Portugal.
There is a way I can meet your demand, girl. 'Cause if you see the sun in my eyes, it should be of no surprise. It's the light of love inside of me. Now tell me, what do you see? My eyes, and I wanna show you, girl. And I wanna know you tonight. When you kiss me, girl, you just don't know how you make me feel. The love I have inside, I'm gonna give it all to you, girl. And if you give me a chance, I just wanna be your man.
When we were little, boy, I can remember the things you used to say. Through the pocket of me, you took my hand and told me we'd be together every day. Those times together, we thought they'd last forever. Two hearts would always be the same. But time would change the plans we made. I knew we'd start again today. But then said you had to go. We cried throughout the night. Finally, you returned it for your time and pride. Right on time, your love is on time. I can't believe I'm back with you. Right on time, your love is on time. Finally, this year's got you.
The night's so young, so who's dancing with me? DJ Cre bringing all the vibes here. Screamers, I think he's ready for a grito now. He's in official grito attire. Tole Pancho Cre. Wait, that was my cue. I missed it. Shout out to Pancho Cre here. We're just missing the wig. It'll be back soon. And he's doing the bird. El pájaro, dice DJ Cre. What an incredible night here on the Tuesday Pop-Up Show. On behalf of DJ Cre and myself, thank you guys for spending your evening with us. We truly, truly appreciate it. Whether you tuned in through the beginning of the show, the whole show, shout out to Screamers Freestyle that hung with us this entire show. I appreciate it. Keeping me company on this Tuesday night. Whether you liked, shared, commented, y'all know, we appreciate it. Make sure you guys leave some feedback on the video. Tap those likes next to the video. And shout out to everyone who helped us accomplish 13,000 subscribers on DJ Cre's YouTube channel. We are here for you guys, and we do it for you all. And we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our YouTube crew and our Facebook listeners. We absolutely love being here. DJ Cre is extremely committed to the show. Like I said, he does it for you guys. So let's make sure to keep the music alive. Right, DJ Cre? See? And I got a special video. Hold on. I need to get a video here, a recording for our YouTube listeners. We got Mr. Screamers here that wants to hear y'all to hear his grito. And I got it here somewhere. Let me look for it. It disappeared. It's coming. Hold on, Screamers. It's coming. It's coming. I found it. All right, YouTube crew. Y'all stay tuned. All right, hold on. It's coming. All right, lower that real quick. Quick pause, Cre. Y'all guys, listen to this. Shout out to DJ Screamers and that grito showing out here on the DJ Cre Pop Up Show. Now Cre, it's your turn. 13,000 going on 20,000. We love that. Yeah, definitely. We got to keep growing that channel. But we appreciate everyone that tuned in on this Tuesday. It is so good to be back here with my favorite crew. Y'all know who y'all are. But until next time, let's make sure we keep the music loud. Keep tuning in to the DJ Cre Pop Up Show. Tune in to Rocket Radio tomorrow. We got DJ Vibe, DJ G-Rock that will be in the house here on the Way Back Wednesday. Thursday, y'all got the 808 Mix Show. And Friday, of course, you got DJ Cre, myself, and we got a guest DJ in the house. DJ Rob M will be dropping it on the 1s and 2s. So make sure you guys stay tuned on the channel. Because
y'all ask him to do the bird.
Yeah. We'll be on Cre's channel, so yeah, you can ask him to do the bird. Maybe he'll do it. I know Chris would. Chris would definitely do the bird. Chris, where are you? But I think that's it for us tonight. Make sure, like I said, you guys all have a good night. Stay blessed. Keep your head up. And whatever you're going through, know that God is going to get you through that. Yeah. Thank you guys. Much love. Cre, you got anything before we log off?
Hey, much peace, love, respect to all y'all. Thank y'all very much. Appreciate it. It's been a great time tonight. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are the best. So appreciate it. So let's do it again. We got more shows this week. Y'all tuned in for those as well. But thank y'all again. Can't say it enough.
Definitely can't say it enough. Now, let's get to 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. Let's do this. Much love y mucho amor a todos. Have a good night, everyone.